Hi everyone, I hope you're all well and staying safe. I've got a new recipe for you, so today I'm going to show you how to make cinnamon rolls. So this is a list of the ingredients. It seems like quite a lot, but if you notice there are a few things that appear twice on each list. So the main things at the top are for the dough, and then there's the filling inside. So cinnamon, caster sugar and butter are all repeated, so you don't need to get 2 lots of those. So in total I've done all the amounts that you need just at the bottom there. So actually overall you need 4 tablespoons of caster sugar, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and then 110 grams of butter. Just remember to keep all these measurements separate. You also need some extra special equipment, so if you've got a rolling pin, a whisk. If you don't have a whisk, you can easily use a fork, that's not a problem, and then a brush. Again, if you don't have a brush, that's not important. I can show you what you can use instead when we get to that point. There's also an option for this, if you've seen some cinnamon rolls have a little bit of vanilla frosting on them, a little bit of icing. If you want to make that, that's absolutely fine. You just need a little bit of icing sugar. Vanilla extract is optional, or essence, and then you just add cold water to it to make a smooth icing. I chose not to do this because I'm not a massive fan of it, but it might be cool if you want to try decorating your cinnamon rolls with this. So let's bake. So you need to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. There's the conversion if you need it in Fahrenheit, and just grease a small tin with butter and some grease-proof paper. So once you've got your ingredients, you need to start by mixing the dry ingredients for the dough together. So that's your flour, 2 tablespoons caster sugar and a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Those need to be all mixed together. And then in a separate bowl, you need to melt the butter. So be careful using the microwave, make sure it doesn't stay on too long. And then you need to separate the egg yolks. I sometimes use a mug, doesn't matter if you use a bowl. So if you break up your egg and tip it side to side so that all the egg whites go into that mug or separate bowl, you can then pop your egg yolks straight into your butter. Then you need to add your milk and whisk it all together. So here you can use a fork if you don't have a whisk. Then, nice and simple, all you need to do is pour in the butter, egg and milk mixture into your dry ingredients and mix it well until you get a soft dough. So once you've got that, just pop a little bit of flour on a surface, pop your dough onto it, and then you need to roll it out. So make sure you've put a little bit of flour over your rolling pin as well. So as you roll it out, you notice your dough is going to get a lot thinner, and then the area that it covers over your work surface is going to get a lot bigger. So you can see there, mine's about 48 centimetres wide, so that's the width, and I think I did it about 40 centimetres long as well. So it's got quite a big area, nearly a square, not quite though. You still want it to be sort of more rectangular. Don't worry if it's not neat at the edges because it all gets rolled up in the end anyway. Then you need to make your fillings. So you need to start by melting the butter again. Be careful in your microwave. Then you just add the cinnamon and both the sugars, so light brown sugar and caster sugar. If you don't have the 2 different types, again, I'm sure it wouldn't matter too much. You can just use the same, as long as you've got the right amount all together. You can just use that one type of sugar. Once you've mixed it together, you can just pop it onto your dough. You need to make sure that it's spread out nice and evenly so that you've got your cinnamon filling covering the whole thing. Then all you need to do is roll it up, so you'll make a cylinder shape. When you cut it, make sure you're being really careful. You might want to ask an adult for some help with this. You want to cut it into equal portions, and as you can see, when you arrange it out, they've all got the same cross section. So there's that circular cross section running throughout the whole of your cylinder shape. So that shows that you've actually made a prism. So in your baking tin, you want to just pop all your cinnamon rolls facing upwards like that. As you can see, I've got a sneaky one that I've put a little bit of chocolate spread in. I'll let you guess which one that is. Thought I'd experiment a little bit. And then you just need to use a brush to put some milk on top of the cinnamon rolls, so it just gives them a bit of nicer colour. If you don't do this, it's not the end of the world, or if you just got a little bit of kitchen roll and just dabbed it in the milk and dabbed it on top of the cinnamon rolls, it would work just as well. So they're all ready to cook. They go in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown on top. And there you have it. Just make sure you leave it to cool. Be really careful putting it in the oven and then taking it out. Again, please ask an adult if you need any help. And leave it to cool before you remove the tin, because as you can see, it's quite bubbly on top. The contents are really, really hot. And I hope you enjoy. This was my first time making cinnamon rolls, and actually it wasn't too difficult. There's a lot of different stages to it, but it was a lot of fun to try something new, and I hope to see some of your lovely creations on this as well. Enjoy and stay safe.